hand up. Alex
Yes, we can
sets his
speak.
hand up. Hello, Alex Horvath. Alex. Okay. So we're going to start proceeding now. I'm going to. Okay, we're going to start now. I'm going to mute from my side, and the itinerary, etc. for the training will be sent through afterwards with all the training scheduling as well. Okay, Colleen, you can start. All the work, etc. being done will be done from the store side and not from the head office side. Okay, Colleen, go.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Very slow.
Sorry, Colin. Sorry. I see there are people who've got their hands up. I don't know if they want to say something. Wilfred? Can you, I hope you guys can hear what's going on. Wilfred?
Yeah, I can hear what's going on, but I think Ken said if the sound is okay, can you raise the hand up to show as a sign that the sound is fine.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay.
What is that?
Where can I get? Want so is that? Yeah, so okay.
Okay, pass it.
Okay.
Okay, we found the hotspot. We're going to go into the debtors module. You already see it now. Unmute and then edit master.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the very basic stuff. So in your debtors module, your debtors master files, then we're going to go to your debtors master. Then we're going to say add item, which will create a debtor for you. Okay, so account number, that would depend on how you like to number your system. Debtor name, I'm just going to say test. Test.
Can we just have one person working on this machine and server? There's somebody from Zim's side working on this machine as well.
Wilfred, we're using your computer, so I think Kinlock is talking to you. Mr. Chamboko?
Yes, Rutendo.
Yes, they're saying that I think somebody is also trying to do something on your machine, so I think it's distracting what they're trying to do.
Yeah, okay, it's fine. I was not in the machine at the moment. I was not trying to do anything. Maybe.
Okay.
Okay, can everyone see the screen? Can you hear me nicely?
Yes, Colin.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to continue here, and then if there's anything, you can just stop and ask, and I'll explain. Okay, so trade name, this would depend on the data that you are creating. Obviously, the data will provide all the details for you to fill in correctly. And like I said, the account number would depend on how you would like to number your datas. Then next, you would be setting up your account details. So account type, you can set here. Currently, it would be on open, but you can set it to be balance brought forward or installment sale. This would also depend on how you would like your statement to show for this client. Okay. Next, your communication methods. So this would be used for sending statements or promotional items. You could set it to fax, email, mail, and SMS. I'm going to set this one to email. Okay. Interest, so this you can allow for your data if you want an interest amount to be added if they do pay late, if the account is in arrears, so it will accumulate interest for that data. So I'm just going to leave it on no for now. Data type, so you can specify whether it's full data or if it's still in the process, if they are still in the process of becoming a data, if it's just a lead account. Okay, sales type, so you can choose cash sales only, account sales, or both cash and account. I'm going to leave this on account sales. Intercompany account. This would also depend on your store setup and how you would like your debtors to be allocated. Next, your account status. So you can select temporary stop, inactive,
Sorry,
hold,
Colin.
close. Yes.
On the intercompany account, so currently we've got Trade Center and Food World. They're two separate companies. So maybe we are in the Trade Center. Is this where we would put maybe Food World as an intercompany if we're trying to create them as one of the customers to Trade Center, or vice versa?
Please just repeat that again.
I was asking on the intercompany account option there. Is this where, like from our point of view, we've got Trade Center and Food World as two separate companies. They're within the same group. So is this where maybe if we are in the Trade Center company, this is where we would put Food World if they're a customer to Trade Center as an intercompany?
You can do exactly that, and that'll be part of the setup. If we put everything on one global system, we'll put it as an intercompany account. So when you make a purchase order on the one side, it creates a purchase order on the other side. So this is where we set up the intercompany, etc. And the other thing that we do with the intercompanies as well is the where we charge VAT, etc. between the two of them. This is where we'll set that up. But yes, that's exactly where we'll do it, Rhonda.
Okay. Thank you.
Then next, your account status. So you can select the status, for example, if you want to put the account on hold because your data is in arrears with payments, or temporary stop. So you will need a supervisor override for it if they are over a credit limit. Then here you can enter in your reason for the status. So if you want to add just a note to say that the debtor account is in arrears for payment. Okay. Sorry, it's just a bit slow. I'm just waiting for it to go to the next option. Okay. So your normal account, main account is or sub account. So this would be for parent or child companies. Debtors, yeah, for your debtors. I'm just going to leave this on normal for now. Okay, next would be your credit limit, which you would set up for the client. So if they do have an account sale, you can set in any amount that you would like for them to have. The temporary limit, so say the debtor comes to you and they know they only have R1,000 credit limit, but they want to set up a temporary limit. And then you can select until what date. This temporary limit would run, and then they would have to reconcile their account within that period. Check limit, I don't believe I don't believe you work with checks anymore, so this wouldn't be necessary for you to enter. And then this is also just for the post-dated checks outstanding, but like I said, this two ties in together, and I don't believe we work with checks anymore. Okay, balance owing, so this will reflect how much the debtor is outstanding on their account. Then next, you can set up your payment methods, so bank transfers or EFTs, cash, checks, credit cards, or vouchers. I'm going to say this is a bank transfer. Okay, so then this is where you would set your limit check. So if they exceed that limit amount, it will bring in a check to tell you that they've exceeded their credit limit, and then you can't do a sale unless there's a supervisor override or you update the credit limit. Account grading, I don't believe that you would work with this, but account grading, you can set this to be, say the debtor buys monthly from you for a certain amount and you'd like to give them a gold account because they pay on time and they're a very good customer to have. Pre-authorization, so this you can set that if someone else comes to buy on this debtor account, then the main member of the debtor account would need to authorize this for you before you can do a sale for them. And then customer relations, I also believe that you will not be using this item. So I'm just going to go over to the address and contacts. So this is simple. This is your debtor's business address. I'm not going to fill this in now, but so you can just put in their address, area code, city code, name, province, so forth. Then their contact details, email address. Okay, who the contact person would be, that person's cell phone number. The ID number is not always required. That would also depend on your internal company relations. Then your company registration number for the debtor, their VAT number. And then this would be if you have a business partner and then just for the travel kilometers. Okay, next on this list would be terms and balances. So settlement terms, that you can set here that they need to pay their invoices within 7 days from invoice or statement. Settlement discounts, so say they pay well within the 7 days, you can allocate a settlement discount to that client. Then month end, that would be the day you run your month end for your debtors, but you can specify that per debtor. That would also depend on your company. Statement frequency, weekly, monthly. Normally it is monthly. And then which day this would run on. So Monday, Tuesday, and so forth. Okay, credit guarantee information. We do not use this. Okay, license information is also not necessary. Then this would also just show you the balances of your debtor for their invoicing. Then this would be their bank information that you would fill in, their bank name, branch code, but the debtor will also supply with these details if necessary. Okay, next we'll go over to your indicators. Okay, so you can choose your VAT indicator for the client. So no VAT if they don't pay VAT. Selling price shows exclusive or inclusive. This is for the stock items that you will sell to the client. Apologies, it's just a bit slow at the moment. Okay, next you would select your currency. So obviously yours would be Zimbabwean dollar. Then promotions for this account. So you can set up specific promotions for debtors, or if whether or not they do qualify for promotions or not.
Hi, Colin. Just a question here.
Yes.
On the default currency, are there other options there to say, sorry, I'm just touching again on the currencies issue. I see there's a drop down arrow there. Are there other options there, or for us, we just have the the Zimbabwean dollar as the default currency?
No. So if you select the drop-down box, it will give you, so you currently have 4 different currencies set up on your system. So it's loyalty rate, US dollar, South African rand, and then Zimbabwean dollar. So this you will allocate to the debtor dependent on which currency they will be paying you in.
Oh, okay. So okay. I'm not sure what to ask. Kinlock, I don't know, is Kinlock there?
Yes, he's next to me.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
All right, sorry. So here, if we've got an option to set a currency per specific customer, does that not then mean that you can actually view their balances in their default currency? Say we set them up to be USD customer. I'm just touching back on that issue about multi-currency.
I've got a very good point. And essentially, yes, you would. However, the problem is that the age analysis and the way it goes into the GL will still go to the base system currency. The base system currency at the moment is Zimbabwean dollar. Hello?
Okay. Yeah.
You there?
Yes.
So I think what we should do is maybe do an experiment, right? Where we do a customer in Zim dollar and we do, okay, like the rest of them now, we do in US dollar. See how it pulls through to the ledger and see how it pulls through to the age analysis in the GL. Because I think everything is going to go sit on the system, current system default.
Okay.
Hello, Catherine.
Hi, how are you? Sorry for the late attendance.
See, no, it's no problem at all. So I think that's what we need to do, Rutenda, is we make
Okay.
one test as that, one test as another one, and see how it pulls through the whole GL, the whole debtors through to the GL.
And see how it will appear.
But yes,
Okay.
there is
Because I
place
think,
to take different currencies.
yeah, which is good. But like you said, maybe we test it and we see. Because if we can then get an age analysis per currency to say maybe we run for our USD customers and for our ZWO customers, then that would be good. Even if maybe it converts in the GL to the base currency, I think that's fine. But if we can run our age analysis in the various currencies, then that will be an added advantage for us.
So what I'm thinking, we can take payments in Zim dollar. We can take payments in US dollar. There we split it and it goes through. Have you guys done the cash up and the cash up at a store and everything already? Have you seen that process?
Yes, we did. We did see it yesterday.
So you see that it splits it at cash up between USD and Zim dollar. So what I'm thinking is a debtor account saying Kinloch Zim dollar, Kinloch US dollar. We do a payment of $1 on one side or $10, and we take it through the age analysis right through to the GL. Let's see how it looks.
Yeah.
And we make it different currency per debtor account.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to let Colleen go on.
Okay. So next on the list will be
Colin, we've lost you.
sorry, it was muted. Okay, so then next your alternative codes will be what you choose for the data. So alternative codes, barcode or stock code, that would depend on how you would allocate the stock to the data. Allow partial orders. So this is if you have a sales order, but you only want to invoice certain items, say that other items are on a back order or so, then you can say yes, and it will allow you to process a partial invoice for the data, and it will keep the sales order open for the other items. Then default prices. So you can choose a default price on your stock items for the debtors. So selling price plus, so if you want to add 2% to the selling price of the stock item, or if you want to take off a certain percentage on that stock item. So you can choose for your debtors, but I don't think we normally do that. Cost plus, this is where you can... The cost plus you will use for intercompanies. So you can choose last cost, average cost, selling, or, sorry, just closed.
Sorry,
Okay,
so
or
Colin, just to confirm, so going back to what I'd asked on the intercompany, if we're setting up or creating a related company as a customer, this is where we would come and select cost, say we're selling to them at cost, we can then pick cost to say all the products go at cost, or if we want to then sell to them at a normal price, like any other customer, we do the selection here.
Yes, that is correct. So then if you want to sell to them like any other customer, you would say average cost or buying cost, supplier list cost. That, as you said, that would depend on the data for your intercompany, but this is where you would select it, yes.
Okay, all right, sure.
Okay, so just going to go over to the data indicators. So block returns on items not previously purchased. So this just make sure that if a client comes to you and says, I want to return this, but they didn't buy it from you, then it will block this data from being able to return a certain item. But yeah, normally the returns need to be matched with invoice numbers. Okay, so we're not using these two, so we're just going to skip this one.
So the e-commerce data will essentially be a customer that gets pushed through to your website or to the e-commerce site that can buy on the e-commerce, and his account essentially goes into Genesis, or whatever he buys on account goes into Genesis. So it's essentially pushing a data up from the system up to the e-commerce site.
Okay, then next we're going to go over to our data grouping. So the data grouping would be set up on a different area, but I'm just going to show you more or less how it would work. So you can, in your data group, specify whether this is a
So data group will be, for example, a customer, let's say a hawker, or it will be a intercompany group, or it will be a loyalty group, or it will be staff, etc. You'll set that as a loyalty or a data group, and that group we use for the reporting side or to report against.
Okay, so then all these areas can be set.
Do you create
Sorry?
the groups here, or this is where you then, as you're creating your customer, you then select which group you want to allocate them to after you've created the groups elsewhere?
So you create the group here on the master files, other master files. We're going to go through this. Here's your customer groups. Here's your categories. Here's your areas and your regions and your routes, etc. CRM managers, if you want somebody to look after that certain customer, the demographics, etc. All of these things you create on the other master files. So if I go to customer group now,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
you can then select and you can create the group here under the customer group, for example, a hawker or something like that. You'll create it under that, and then you'll select it here. Let's say I go here, other category ones, and you'll create it there as well. Or you can create it on the global side, and you can range it down to the stores as well from a global point of view, depending how you want to do it. All right.
Okay.
And what that helps with is if you want to sum or you want to compartmentalize and categorize all of your different debtors, and you want to see what your aging and your breakdown, etc., of your aging analysis per debtor group, that's what that is for. Or let's say we do foreign currency. We say debtor group 1 is Zim dollar, debtor group 2 is US dollar. And you want to split it on the age analysis. That's how we'll do it.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, so then next would be our notepad. So this is just if you want to add any additional notes on the data that's not included on the main data area. This would be any information that you would like to add on for the client. Then
So if there's additional contacts, etc., under the additional information, you can put it in there, but that's fine. I mean, we're not going to change this. This is normal. From here, we'll save the data. And now we can go, we've already gone through the other master files, it's fine. So the system will look and see if there's a double data in the system. So every single account number needs to be non-clashing, or it needs to be special. You can't add two codes on the system, data codes on the system, with the same name or number, all right? There you go. Perfecto. Okay. There we can already see it's already balances. So we can already start playing with the edge analysis, but it's fine. Colleen will take you through to the next one now. Data journals.
Okay. Next, data journals. So this would be under your transactions journals. Then you can select whether you want to add it in a single journal, or if you have a batch journal too.
Fine.
But then, yeah,
If
so
there's something we can change, at the moment it's set up everything to happen from head office. We can just change that so that the journals can be done at branch level as well. Where will the journals be done at the moment?
I think for now it will be head office.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's
So we'll
what
just
that's
change
the
that.
current setup now. That's the current setup, but I think it's something that we'll obviously review as we go. But for now,
Yes.
it would be at head office, I think.
Yeah.
Isn't that so, Catherine?
Yes, that's correct. For now, they just definitely have to be done at head office.
okay, so then for now we're just gonna leave the data's journals out, but it is it's quite simple to do, but we'll touch on this at another time.
Sorry, is there a reason we can't touch on it today?
Yeah, we can definitely. I just want to go through the rest of the data items, and then we can come back to the data journals.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, because I'll just need to go into the head office then to show you that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so next would be your debtors payment allocation. So this is after the payment has been brought in through the cash book. Then say you do an unallocated payment. Then you can go into your data transaction statement. You can view your unallocated lines, and then this will also show you, okay, but I believe all the payments are correct in this account. But if there is a payment here, then it will show on the credit side if it's unallocated. Then you can go back to your transactions list, allocations. You can put in the data. So it would be that. Okay. Then yeah. So on the side here, which shows your debits and your credits. So obviously the debits are invoices done, and the credit would be the payment. Then you would select the credit and you would allocate it to the correct invoices if the data sends a payment remittance, or if you allocate from oldest. The next on our list would be the debtor's age analysis. So for this, you'll
Sorry,
need...
Colin. Colin, sorry.
Yes.
So you did mention that the payment will be coming through from the cash book. So if the customer has paid into our account, they've made a payment into a bank account. So from the cash book side, which I'm sure you take us through, the payment will reflect in the bank account in the cash book. And then is there a way that they can allocate it from cash book, or they have to physically post it into the customer account?
So you, on the cash book, you will have to allocate it to the specific data account.
Sorry?
From the cash book side, you will have to manually post it to the data account.
Okay.
But we'll come back to the cash book postings, then we can show you how that will work.
Okay.
Okay. So then next, I just want to show you your debtors age analysis. So, but for this item, you'll have to go back to your menu. Okay. Maar kan nie verder niemand is nie. Okay, then next you will select your reports. Okay, then in your reports screen, you will be on debtors and age analysis. Okay, so then yeah, you can choose. So the 7-day age analysis, that would be for the debtors. If you specify that they pay 7 days from invoice or 7 days from statement, you would pull this. Then the monthly age analysis for your normal debtor clients, if they pay 30 days, age analysis by date, you can select the date range for that specific debtor or all your debtors. Your age analysis by sales rep. So if you have a specific salesperson for that data, you can use this report to show the sales rep and the data. Then your overdue list, this would be for your debtors that are overdue on their payments. So over 30 days, over 7 days, whichever terms you set up for your debtors. Would you like me to just show you one report?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm going to just do that monthly age analysis for now. Okay, so this is the period you can select from which month. So it will be from the 1st of the 5th, or you can select whichever month you would like your statement to show in your age analysis. Next, your balance options. So this will be either for all accounts or, sorry, I just want the drop down to open. Okay, so you can select your current balance debtors, your 30 days balance debtors, 60 days, 90 days, or negative. So if the debtor has a credit on the account with you. Then you can also here select to include negative balances. So this would be any credits or zero balances if the debtor is paid in full. Normally we would prefer the period balances, so the brought forward balance. Then you can select if you wanted to send it to the printer, then it will show in, just want to show you what it looks like. Oh, okay, sorry, just a technical difficulty. Okay, there we go. So then this is what it will look like. And then you can select if you want to print it, export it to PDF, or you can export it to an Excel sheet. And you can also mail it to your okay. So that would be your monthly age analysis, and then you can also set it to print on the screen only, and then it would post it. So just waiting for this to open.
Rutendo, is there any way which we can get this internet on your side to be a little bit quicker for demonstration purposes? Rutendo?
Yes, I lost you for a bit. I think my network was acting up, but I'm back now.
Is there any way which we can get it a little bit quicker? Otherwise, I think we need to switch to maybe a share of one of our demonstration systems or something, because at the moment the demonstration program or the other company we're trying to go into is extremely slow.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think it's fine if you can take us through your own demo company.
Okay.
I don't think it's a problem. Yeah, because we can see the speed is quite slow because you're connecting all the way to
Yes.
this end. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask for a 10-minute break, and we're just going to switch from systems as well quickly. Okay.
Sure, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe the team can use this time to take a quick break.
Okay, good afternoon. Is everybody ready? Is everybody ready to go to the next step?
Yes, ready.
Everybody ready? Okay. So
Sorry,
what I'm
Pretender already on your side? Pretender. Let me just call them and check that they're all ready.
no problem, thank you.
Hello? Hi,
Bonjour.
are you guys ready? Oh, okay. You're rejoining now. Okay, sure. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks.
They're rejoining. I think they'll be there just now. Thanks.
Sorry about that. I lost connectivity, but I'm back.
Okay. All right, I'm going to start now. Some of the stuff that I'm going to show is going to be going on from where Colin left off. Okay, I'm going to start now. So when we use Genesis, okay, what we want to do is here's all the modules particular to functions within the system. Okay. So if you're going to go into debtors, that's pretty much the predominant place where all the debtors related transactions and activity is going to happen. All right. Here's the transactions, master files, utilities, and exit. So the transaction side is essentially how to do any and all type of transactions relevant to a debtor. The master files will be setting up a debtor or setting up items relating to the master information of the debtor. Recurring invoices can be set up if there's some, for example, in our company, customers have recurring invoices every month for backups and for services. In that case, we set up the recurring invoices, etc. here, which I'll cover a bit later, but it's a function within the system. So let's say you pay every month a debtor to take out the trash, and it's $1,000 a month. You can put a recurring invoice for that recurring debtor in here, and the system runs the recurring debtors and the recurring statement for that client each month. All right. That's the functionality around the recurring invoices. Now, in the master files, and the reason why I've changed the database is to show you that there's some customers here. It can show you the balance. Right. Now, in this, you'll see there's a little lightning bolt here on top. That allows you to select what you want to see of that data here on the grid. So if I don't want to see his email and his fax number, maybe I want to see his ID number and I want to see his VAT number. I can save that settings and it changes the grid layout for me. And then you can, for example, drag and drop all those functionality on the debtors master to see what you want to see. All right. You can also click on the search criteria, so you can search on the name. For example, there's a lady here called Ayanda. If I put in Ayanda, it only gives me Ayanda. But I can also click on the generic name. And what this does is it searches for anything related in the name. For example, Nzu. And then it brings everywhere where there's a Nuzula in the name of the customer. I can also right click on this line. So this is left clicking. I can right click with my mouse, which will show me the transaction statement for this customer. Transaction statement. So I can select the date from and to. I press enter to select those options. And now it gives me all the transactions that this customer has. Ooh, what happened now? It gives me all the transactions that this customer has. All right. Rutendo, are you following on your side?
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Kinlock.
Okay. Now, the nice thing about this is you can also look at the unallocated, allocated lines, etc. if there's something that you want to allocate here. But this is not the master place we do it. So what we look at here is we look at the transactions, and if you want to drill down and you want to see, so here's a POS ASL, which is a point of sale account sale. Here's a DEBTKO, which is a take-on balance for the debtor. So if you click on this line and we say view transaction details, you can see the transaction details. For example, when the payment was posted, who posted the payment, how much it was, etc. You can also look at the balances. Here I can see the machine, and I can see the person as well that posted this specific transaction. I can also click here, view document, and I can view the sale, the way it was done. So if there was a account sale, I can see what this client has purchased. I can click on the header info. I can see how he paid, GP, etc. of this if need be, and I can look at the tender details. So if he paid in US dollar or in Zim dollar, or he paid by card, etc., I can see that as well. It also gives me the timestamp, which is relevant to this transaction that the customer bought from. All right. You can change some details here, but I'm not going to change details here. You can also print this, or you can print this transaction from here, and it will physically give you the ability to print this transaction out. There we go. So here on this customer, I can print out this transaction. If maybe the customer needs some invoices attached, what we do in our company is we print the transaction and we print the statement from here, from the transaction statement page. Okay, we put it to a PDF and we mail it to the client out of the system. That's our current SOP within our business. So if the customer is inquiring his account, I print out a statement, I put it on a PDF, I print out certain invoices, I print it on a PDF, and I email it to a client. All right. Yes.
Kinlock, I can see that in your company, you've put that control where if an invoice is being printed for the second time, it will show that it's a reprint.
It's going to show a copy.
So, yeah, it's showing reprint. So I think it's a very good control that we would also want to have. So for us to make sure that we've got that, is it like a default setting or it's something that we'll need to add on?
It's something
that we need to set up when we set up everything and put it all together.
It's something your IT team can speak to Pratish to set up, to show copy the moment anybody prints out a copy. Also note that currently your stores have document scanning. So the moment that anybody's going to try and scan this invoice, it's going to show as already scanned. So it won't allow that person to leave the store with that stock.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Good. Yeah.
Is there anything relating to the debtors master that anybody's unsure of? So by right clicking on this, you can show open lines. Yeah, I can look at it here. I can view the allocations. We can even do the allocations from here if there was any payments, etc. to it. But this is not the master place where we do allocations. We can look at the balances of this debtor as well. We can look at the monthly balances, etc. for this debtor on here. So a lot of these things by right clicking on it is also available when we double click on it. There's a utility menu, right, within the debtor here. You see here, There's like utility menu here. So here you can click, here's the invoices. You can view all the invoices from month to date. So all the invoices that this customer has done, if it's there, you can view it. All the credit notes, all the payments, and all the quotes that was done towards this account will sit in the view documents folder. All the sales statistics, like the invoice statistics, the item purchase, etc., will sit in that folder. If you want to take a debtor off the system, you can delete a debtor. But remember, you can only delete a debtor on Genesis if there's no transactions on that debtor's account. If there is transactions on this account, but you want but the amount is zero owing, you can archive the debtor and you can later restore the debtor if need be. But you cannot delete a debtor from Genesis if there's transactions on it. Okay.
I think it's clear.
Okay.
I'm not sure from my other colleagues, Everjoy and team. I don't know if you've got any questions on this specific account maintenance, because currently I think it was being done by our sales team. They're the ones who are responsible for creating customer accounts, but something that we probably want to switch over and have finance take that over. So I don't know about the team, if they've got any questions. Yeah.
I've got a question, not on creation of a data, but as far as the data are concerned, we have an issue whereby we can view transaction in the branch, but this transaction will not be posting to the head office account. I'm not sure how can this be resolved.
So Wilfred will pick that up, but normally the customer debtors transaction will always be branch specific. It won't necessarily be something pushing up to head office, except if we set it up that all information from the branch gets sent to head office. So it's set up dependent where and how we want to do it from head office side. However, know that from head office, you can log into the branch and you can sit at the branch and access all the data to still create the customer at the branch from head office. You can head office control from full control of the branch debtors when you're sitting at head office.
The current setup is that the receipts are being posted at the head office. So what happens is if we post a receipt at the head office, it will not reflect at the branch. Then we have to log into the branch server to post that receipt. Is it the proper way to log in the branch and post the receipt? Or we have to post on the head office?
At the moment, all the transactional items happens at the branch. So that the way that you're currently doing it is correct. So some of the functionality like the stock and like the creditor side, etc., happens at head office, but debtor specific items, debtor specific stuff happens on the branch itself, yes. So the way that you're doing currently, not doing it through head office is correct, yes.
Okay, thank you. Then another question is, how do we reverse an account sale?
Okay, so there's a few ways to do it. Okay, but here's the synopsis of how you do it. So you have to go into the till. All right. Now I don't have the right company here. I'm just going to show you in a hypothetical sense how you'll do it. There is an account return here. Wilfred, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
All right, so you're going to go to an account return. You will select your account. For example, this account. From here, you can either do an unallocated transaction or you can import a document, for example, the sale that was done. So you can select the invoice here that'll show you the status that is open. Select the invoice and you see it will allocate that account return against this invoice. I can, for example, say, this is my reference. This is who it was from. And I can give a note reason why I'm returning it as well. All of these things can be access controlled. So you can have only head office, for example, doing account returns on a branch. You can then proceed with it. With this information, you can proceed with it. And you see that it brings in everything into the return. And then you can just process this return and it will reverse the account sale accordingly. Does that answer your question, Wilfred?
Yeah, partially answered. Is there an option maybe to reverse using the journals, using journals? Is there any option? Maybe we have discovered after a month or so that there is a duplication of an account sale. And,
Yeah.
yeah. How do we reverse such a transaction?
So normally we don't advise that you would do a journal for a duplicate invoice done, because it does affect your GL statuses at the end of your financial year. We do recommend that you just do a normal account return for that invoice, and you can always just specify that it was a duplicate invoice on your account return reason.
I noted. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm not going to go through the till stuff because I think that most of the till functionality, etc., needs to get covered at branch level when you guys go do a site visit, etc. So there's obviously also the option here to do account payments and payment reversals, etc. But I'm not going to go to that here. That is front office. We're currently doing back office functionality. Okay. Let's open it up here. So here's where we do the manual invoice and the manual credit note. So for example, if I'm paying out something from a back office, let's for example see Andile, I put in the date there, I can put the reference as this, I can put the due date, I can add a line, I can for example say, okay, so you've already got a standard chart of accounts that we've imported and we're running at your store at the moment. Okay. We can, for example, select a category or select a expense account to do it against. We can say plastic wrap. There we go. Quantity in the units. Right here, you'll have VAT code reasons as well. So you can do a non-VAT or a VAT, standard VAT, etc. Depending on what you want to select as your VAT code reasons. You can put the VAT amount, you can put the total, and then you can post it through. Yeah, and you can post an invoice. And this will be the manual invoice that you do in regards to your, let's say, it's for taking out the trash, or maybe you want to put it as staff salaries or something like that. This is where you do your manual debtors invoice. All right. Transactions, credit note, manual invoice credit note. So if you want to create that invoice that I've just done, you're simply going to go into the manual credit note place. You're going to select the credit note. It's the same way around, and you're going to do a reversal for it. Payments, and you will click on payments. Here's your debtors payments. So on the debtors payments, we'll select a payment here. Just hope that this customer has got transactions against it. No. Let me just find a customer that needs until EBL 525. EBL 525. EBL. So let me just find a debtor here to do it against. 525. There we go. So I've selected the debtor. Here's the bank, the drop down for the bank that I can select. Here's your payment date and here's your payment amount. Let, for example, say I put in 100 Rand. So the moment I put in 100 Rand, it gives me a total payment amount and it gives me a balance to allocate. So I go to the documents here, and right here I can allocate that line. You see that there's a balance of 700 Rand. I've allocated 100 Rand, 100 Rand is allocated. There's still 200 Rand, etc. left to allocate. Or I can click on auto allocate, and it can auto allocate it for me as well. Very simple. This is how we do the debtors allocations on the payments. Once I'm finished with the payments, I click on post payment, and it will post the payment that's already allocated to the debtor. Any questions around debtor payments?
Kinlock, if it's a prepayment and then you want the invoice comes after.
So what we'll do in that case is we'll do a payment, right? And we'll make it unallocated. And then we'll post the payment. So you'll see that we'll do a balanced allocated 0. We'll do an unallocated payment. We'll post it. And then once the sale is done, we'll do the payment allocation afterwards, Rutendo.
Okay.
Right. Any questions around debtors payments?
I have a question.
Yes.
I wanted to ask on the reports module for the debtors, is there a functionality where I can view all the account sales for a specific period?
Yes, there is. We'll get to the reports. We're just making a note here of what report we can show you. There is a report for it, yes, Everjoy. We'll show it to you just after we get to the reports.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have questions around debtors payments, or can I move on to the next one? Okay. Next point.
Sorry, Kinlock, just a quick one. Quick one.
Yes.
Say maybe there's the customer is paid into our account, but we don't know who the customer is, and they probably haven't sent POP. So we've got what do you call them? Unknown deposits. Where do we account for those here?
Well, you can, I wouldn't suggest it, but you can create a unknown payments debtor, put it on that debtor to balance, then reverse the payment once you know out of the unknown client's account and put it into the correct client's account if you want to do it that way and still account for the money being paid in.
So the money doesn't have to sit in our cash book is unreconciled. We can post it to the debtors into
You
the
can, and then you can
deposit
reverse and reallocate it to the correct debtor, yes.
once we know. Okay. So we have to create, there isn't a default account at the moment. We have to
Well,
create one.
You can create one, yes.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Payments. Here's our payment reversals. It's exactly the same as the, what do you call it? Payments. Right here, we can see a payment. We can select the payment. And it does the reversal for us already. The moment we click on reverse payment, it'll do a payment reversal against that payment that we have selected. We can also click on view documents. Here it'll show us the information of it, of that payment. It'll show us the current allocation for it, how it was tendered, etc. as well. If we want to see if it's the correct payment to be created. All right. Journals. Journals is journals. You select your account that you want to journal against. Your document date, you select if it's a debit or a credit journal. Reference, we can put the details, we can put the amount that we want to do it against. If we want to calculate VAT, we can calculate your VAT and your current rate. There's your rate. You can put your source branch, allocate it, etc. If you want to do that, you can select your GL account you want to do it against. Allocations here. You can do your allocations here. So if you want to do a journal and you want to allocate that journal, for example, against, let's say you've made a manual invoice and you, instead of want to return the manual invoice, you want to take it out of the journal, you can select it here. You can allocate the line, you can save your allocations, and you can post your journal. It's quite simple the way that the journals work.
These journals, what's the difference between these journals and debit and credit notes, if any?
I don't really think there is, but I think with the journals, you can specify GL and stuff like that as well. So you can use either or, I think. That's my recommendation. The nice thing about this as well is you can do this from head office. Because you can specify another branch. You can sit at head office and you can do a reversal on another branch from head office.
Okay, so if you want to do a debit or a credit note, is that done in a separate, on a separate screen?
Yes, and we also, what we've done as well from our side is the transaction type, we've made a little bit different because you might not want everybody to have access to do journals. You might want some staff only to have access to do the debit or the credit note. Because as you know, a journal can be, a single-sided journal can be quite naughty.
Yeah, yeah. Your journals should only be done at head office by specific authorized people.
Yes. All right, I'm going to click on allocations. So here's the master allocation screen of Genesis. So this can be, remember when you said that you're going to do a invoice, a prepayment, and you want to do it afterwards, allocate it afterwards. So you can go into that. You see there's your payment sitting there. You can select that transaction. And here you can do your allocations on your allocation screen. So here you can click on your allocations. Right here, I've clicked allocate. There's nothing. I'm going to go back. I'm going too quickly. Sorry. I'm clicking on the transactions. So here I can click on this amount, allocate that one for me, allocate this one for me, allocate this one for me, allocate this one for me. At the moment it says it's going into negative allocation. You can also click on auto allocation. There's not enough to offset. But this is where you do all of your current allocations. It's on the screen. Once you've saved it, your allocations are done. I'm going to take another account that's maybe a little bit more. You see, this is all payments against the clients. Where is the titles? I can't see titles. Try this one. Nyansk. Okay, there's nothing here. But guys, you use the allocations. So what we normally try and do is everybody's assigned a group of debtors. Start with your allocations, split your debtors up between the people and let them start doing the allocations, etc. against that. All right. The rest of the stuff is here, pre-authorization and stuff. I won't use it yet, Rotendo, because that's pre-authorizing a client with a certain credit limit. I don't want to use that yet. It can be quite dangerous. Sales reps and stuff is here if you want CRMs to use certain accounts. So I don't know in food world if some people are responsible for some debtor accounts. Do you currently have that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Catherine, do you
Sorry,
know?
can you repeat the question? Sorry, please repeat the question.
Now, I'm asking if currently, is there people responsible for certain accounts?
Well, there's a team that works on all the accounts, but
Okay.
at any given time, they'll allocate amongst each other which individuals doing which debtors.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm happy with that. So if there's individuals, etc., doing it, you can assign, you can create individuals here, and you can go to the debtor account, Catherine, and you can assign a person for that account. Like a client relations manager. You can assign it per account. Okay. If you want to do that.
Yeah, that's no problem. I think we should actually do that. Mm.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to go into the reporting aspect now. I think Colin is going to go on with the reporting aspect. Colin?
Sorry,
move from my side.
Kinlock, sorry,
Yes.
maybe, I don't know, maybe you can touch on this afterwards or even now.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
did take us through the putting a customer on hold in
Yes.
account maintenance. So is the way, do you set it up to say that maybe there's a limit for a customer and then you put the limit, and then once, is it then automatic that once they've reached their limit, then the account is automatically placed on hold, or we have to manually go in and place them on hold even if there's a limit on the
That's a
account?
very good question. And I'm going to get Colin to answer it, to jump in quickly. And from there, Colin can go to the age analysis, etc. and stuff. Colin?
Okay.
Okay, so when it comes to the putting the data on hold, so I'm just going to go back into a specific data. Okay, so when you open your data's maintenance, so this is where you can set up your credit limit for that specific data. Then obviously here you can add a limit check. I just see that I can't set it now, but if you enable this limit check, it will pop up a notification on your sales screen that will notify you that the client has exceeded, or the sale will exceed your client's current credit limit, and you won't be able to do any further sales until the client has either paid their account, or if they want to make arrangements for a temporary limit, which you can set to a certain date. But yes, so this aspect here, this will prevent the client from going over their credit limit, and it will give you a pop-up screen where you can either set up a override check on it. So if you want your supervisor to override that and they can go on with the sale, but then the credit limit will need to be manually updated.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense to you?
Yes, yes, it does.
Okay, so then just the other aspect, the account status. So you can use this as well. So you can put it on hold if the client is in arrears with their account. So this will completely stop the client from being able to buy anything on their account.
Okay. Yeah, that's clear. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Any other questions regarding this, or can we go?
Age analysis.
Or can we go on to the reporting aspects?
I've got one question. Sorry for taking you back. Currently, we have got two currencies that we are trading with, the USD and the RTGS. So in this data module, do we have an option to say if a customer pays us in USD, then we capture that receipt as USD, and even if he made a purchase, that account sale is it possible to record it as USD so that we can view his balance in USD? Because the current setup is we convert the amount that we have received from the data to the RTGS account. So we have some challenges whereby some customers will not utilize their funds in full. Then because of the rates, we have to recalculate.
Wilfred, I'm making a note of it. I'll speak after the reports and everything. We can cover that and we can go through that quickly. Okay.
Okay.
Can I proceed to the reporting section?
Yes, fine.
Yes, we get profits.
Okay, thank you. So then under your debtors, so this would be your master report for the debtors. So you can pull debtors master, you can select which branch, specific branch or all branches. You can say in what sequence, so account number or name, which one you want to display first. Account statuses, this you can filter open, closed, on hold, or inactive, or alternatively all accounts. If you want to show the addresses or the bank details, and then all your costs plus, then you can additional criteria. So this is where your debtors grouping comes in. So on the report, you can select either which area the debtor is in, region, customer group, intercompany, not intercompany, categories that you have, per sales rep. Select the sales rep. Account types, so cash sales only. Okay, you can say accept, and then you can say print and preview, and then it will pull for you on that specific criteria that you have selected. So you can go and play around here and select whichever categories you would like to add. Then next, you can filter by terms. So also which comes first, your account number or the name, and then the account status. Same, print preview. Okay. And for the next one, this is the post. This is for the check notes, but like I said, we don't believe that you guys work with checks either, so we won't really be using this report. This is your customer relations manager. You can select that, the code for it. They unfortunately don't have anyone selected, but then just the same, print report, and it will give you that information. Then customer frequency report, you can select your date range, print preview. And this will show how often the customer does sales. Okay, next would be your transactions. So you can pull your statements for your clients here. And here you can select whether it wants to ignore zero balances, ignore negative balances. You can BCC the emails to yourself. If you want to add a custom note in there to see, please see your current account balances. If there's any queries, you can add your custom message there. Then pause for review. We normally recommend that every after 50 statements, otherwise it does stop quite regularly. Here you can extract your debtors. So selection criteria, this would also be your grouping, area, categories. Saved, save, print preview. Okay. Okay, but there's nothing selected currently there. So then next, your document summary. So this will show invoices only, sales type. You can choose cash sales, return documents, or account sales and their return documents. You can select from account. So if you only want to show this one specific account or a few, you can select with profits. Then export the documents for you. And then it will give you that information. Okay. Next would be documents by sales rep. So you can choose your okay, so we're going to just skip the sales rep for now. And then the age analysis. So this is your monthly age analysis report. So you can choose which period from you want to see that, whether you want your zero balances or negative balances. This one does take a while because this is all your debtors.
This is by account group.
Yes, so this is basically you can select all accounts. So this is more for your account, your aging accounts. So this will show you if the client is owing in 180 days. So this is for checking your overdue accounts, which clients are due in which terms. Okay. Then your 7 days. So this would depend on how your debtors accounts are set up, if they set up for 30 days or 7 days payments. I'm not going to let that one pull through now, but it does the same as the 30 days, but it only displays for certain debtors. Like I said, if you set up your debtors payment from invoice or from statement 7 days, it will pull only for those specific debtors. Then,
Yeah, I get that, but I'm saying if
yes.
paid customers, whatever groups that we've created, and we then want to run aging reports per each group, customer group. Is there some way we can do that, make that selection?
Yes, so if you go into your monthly age analysis, your selection criteria button over here, if you go in here, you can add per area, region, your customer groups, categories that you might set up, sales reps. So this you can filter here what you want to see per category, per sales rep, per account type. So you would use this additional selection criteria box for that.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good. Thanks.
No problem. So age analysis by date, you can select your accounts here. If you only want for a specific account, or if you leave it blank, it will select all accounts. It will display a data name if you select a specific account, and then you can choose your date range. Let's just choose one account. Okay, print report. Yeah, so there's no transactions for this date. But you can filter this age analysis per data per date. Then by sales rep, so you can put in for all accounts.
Sorry.
Yes.
Colleen, is there anything in this module where it will say, for example, we've got a debtor, obviously, who's prepaid for their goods and they have not utilized all their funds. Let's say they've paid 4,000 and they've used 2,000, so they've left half. Is there somewhere where it will show us that they still have a $2,000 balance if we go into their account? They
Yes.
are paid up. They're paid up. They've just got a $2,000 balance they need to use.
Okay, so you can use the monthly age analysis report for that as well. Or no, I think
It's negative balances of 12.
yeah. So yeah, I would use this report. Then you can select all negative balances only. So obviously your negative balances would be the credits that the debtor has.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can print and preview that, and it will show you all the debtors that currently have credits on it. Okay, this one doesn't have any credits. But this will show you how much they still have left over on the account.
Okay, sure.
Okay, let's just see. Just want to select from a different time period. Just want to see if it shows something for us. Okay. Okay, no, so it's not pulling anything there. But yeah, you can, this, I would say balance options negative only. You can use that option for showing all your credit amounts.
Okay.
Okay, then this overdue report. So this will show you all the debtors that are over their payment terms. So you can either add a specific data or, as it states, blank for all accounts. And then you can also just select from what date range. Some of the reports do take a bit to run because it just depends on the data that it is filtering for the report. Okay, then this will show you all the clients that are overdue and what payments are due for those clients.
Right. Catherine, ladies and gentlemen, is there anything that we've missed, or can we go to the tail end with questions and answers? Have you mapped through Rotendo? Have you mapped through the process that you want to use in regards to Genesis? Have you gone through the process that you want to implement at Food World with Genesis? Hello?
Okay, so I think we already have processes. We've got processes that would go through and align maybe internally with Catherine, maybe she can comment. And then that's what we'll probably want to automate. And maybe Catherine, you can comment.
I think we've gone through quite a lot of the functions the team normally uses. I don't know, I've missed about, I think, 30 minutes of the initial part of the meeting, of the training. So I'm not sure what was discussed in that part. But I don't know, is Everjoy TS with you, Rutendo? Is she with you?
Not my
Is she on here? I
office.
haven't
I think
seen
she's
her.
in her office. Yeah.
Everjoy.
Everjoy.
Everjoy, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. We wanted to know with you, because you are the team leader with the debtors team, and you will be using this on a daily basis. So if there's anything, especially something minor, because we know all the major things, is there anything else maybe minor that has been missed that you need further information on or further explanations on?
We wanted explanation on extracting the reports, especially for the account sales and the account pay for a specific period.
I don't know, Kinlock, did you get that?
Not quite. I broke up a little
Okay.
bit.
Extracting which specific reports?
Detailed reports showing the account sales and the account payments for a specific branch and period.
You mean like this one that I just took for you? Like this? Everjoy?
Joy,
Kinlock,
can
I
you
think
speak to
what they're talking about is, say maybe for a specific customer or maybe for a group of customers, they want to see all the sales, all the invoices that went through that specific customer or
Okay.
account group,
So,
and
Rutendo,
returns
there's a few
and
ways to do
payments
that.
that would have.
The
Yeah.
easiest way to do that is go into the debtors master. Okay. Go look for the debtor or search for the debtor that you need. Right click on it and say transaction statement. All right. You select your date from and to. And here you can select debtors payments, debtor placement balances, debtors sales, etc. You can select all of that and it will show you only those transactions. This is the easiest way to do it.
Okay, answered, but I wanted is there a consolidated one
Is there a?
showing all the
Sorry, Everjoy, the signal is bad on your side. Can you please repeat for me?
Okay, I'm saying, is there a consolidated one showing all
everybody
the
together?
debtors?
Yes.
Yes.
You can go, so we can go debtors on the report side, transactions, transaction summary. And you can either say from account to account, depending on what you want to do. You can say what documents needs to be printed. You can select here. You can select here cash sale and documents or the account sale documents. You can select on document type invoices or credit notes only, whichever you'd like to select, and you can run this report. It will give you a consolidated report with all of these information that you've selected for the debtors that you have selected. For example, let's take an example. So from the beginning of this month to the 18th, I want to know all invoices for all the debtors. Eunice. For all the debtors, I want to know only account sales that's been done on the company. All right? This is what I want to know. And here it gives it to me. Here's the whole thing. And here it says, I've done account sales on invoices from the 1st to the 18th. And this is what I'm sitting on with account sales. Does that answer your question? The
Yes,
nice
I'm
thing about,
answered. Thank you.
you see, guys, the synopsis of Genesis and the synopsis of training is that everything with Genesis is compartmentalized, right? So the debtors functions is in the debtors module. Most of the debtors transaction, information, inquiries, etc. is on the debtors master. Okay, that's simple enough. If you want to know reports, you go to the reports module, you click on debtors, and there is, if you go to sorry, I'm just muting Eunice Denere. Right. So when you go to debtors and you select master reports, this will give you all of your current clients on the master reports. Right? And your terms, etc. So if you want to see what's your terms for all of your clients, you can run this. So this is like information around the master data of the debtors. Transactions will be almost everything regarding transactions. So where's there been a transaction detail report on a debtor, the journal report, the payments report, the document summary. If you want to email out your statements, that's all under the transaction side. The age analysis side is this is all your different overdue lists, your payment lists, your age analysis, your 7-day age analysis, per date, etc. This is all of your age analysis. Quotes and orders, if you want to see the quotes, etc., it's there. If checks we don't do. Audit reports you can run from here, but it's quite simple in regards to most of the options for Genesis. You're going to either use transactions or you're going to use the age analysis for it. All right. Any more questions? Rutendo, Catherine?
So from my end, Kinlock,
Yes, ma'am.
we've gone through the debtors module, right?
Yes.
And we're going to go through all the other modules, creditors, cash book, and all of that, right?
Yes.
And then ultimately, we then want to map the various modules to the GL, and obviously we're going to go through the GL as well. So currently, as you are aware, we're only using TILs and
stock.
PAWS and all of that.
Yes.
Right. And stock, yeah, partly. But you see, some of the GRVs, they're just hanging. They're not being posted to the various supplier accounts and all of that.
Yes.
So maybe just, maybe I'm going ahead of you, but ultimately, once we've gone through the modules and
You just cut out, Rutendo. Rutendo just got out.
Will we be doing that with you guys, or we'll be doing it with our IT? I think that's where I probably want to understand in terms of the roadmap.
Okay, roadmap is of current. After today's debtors session, you guys need to start using debtors from Monday. Okay, map it against your processes, start doing payments, start running age analysis, start checking it, start breaking it, go crazy with debtors. That's what needs to happen after today's roadmap. Let's say next week, Friday, we do the creditors one. After the creditors, you start utilizing the creditors. Then the GL side, we start utilizing the GL side with the cash book. And then after that, if there's anything else. The only place you need to go to the IT department or the assistance you need from the IT department is working on stock, because they already have experience in it. It'll be doing cash ups and sales. Right. That's the only thing you guys need to get from the IT team. The rest of the information and the rest of the assistance, you can come to us and we can arrange training sessions accordingly to that. But what I do is I take these functions, I map it to your current business process and form your own best business practice in regards to Football Trade Center with Genesis. If there's something wrong or you want to check something or it's like the debtors or something like that, you want to test it, mail me, because that'll be something kind of between me and you that we sort out and figure out. It's not really going to be something in regards to the team, but the team needs to know how to do the bulk of the rest of the functionality.
Yeah. Yeah. It's trying to get me again. I think okay. Okay.
That sounds good. Sounds good, Kanu. I don't have any
Is,
more questions from my end.
is everybody happy with the way training has gone? Is everybody happy with what was trained? Can we do the next training session the same? Does everybody feel confident to start playing with Genesis in regards to the debtors side?
Please respond, football team.
Yeah, I'm happy with the training so far, but you promised that you're going to answer my question regarding the use of multi-currency system, the use of USD, whereby data pays us in USD, and we don't want to convert that amount. We just want to process it as it is received, and the account sale as well being within USD, because we're having a challenge whereby the current setup is whereby when we receive funds from a data, we convert it with the current rate. So the issue is when the customer comes now to purchase some products and he didn't utilize the amount in full, we have some difficulties in trying to recalculate the money since the exchange rate we have changed.
Okay. In regards to that, I think the multiple currency on debtors will get taken up between me and Rutendo to sort out what's the best business practice going forward and how we're going to do it. Because this all relates and entails the setup of the multiple debtors, the multi-currency debtors.
Yeah, that's correct, Wilfred. I think if you recall, when we started,
Yes.
we did notice that there's an option there to when you create your debtors, if you've got USD debtors. So Kinlock said they're going to look into it and try and see, they're going to test it and then see how it will appear on the reports side and on the GL. So I think it's an area that we still need to explore and see
Yes.
what we can